Welcome to Daily Conversation. This is Mr. K.
This is Eric.
Yeah, today is the 26th of August 2021, and the time now is 6:16 a.m. Well, today our topic is imagine that you were captured by a genie. The only way to survive is to choose one of the pills in the genie's pocket: a sleeping pill, a bankruptcy pill, and a depression pill, and then swallow it. What will you choose? All right, so before we get started, please click the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. All right, so here we go. Yeah, and then I think I need to talk about the effects of the pills first. For the sleeping pill, um, after we swallow it, they will have an effect of compulsory 20 hours of sleep per day, lasts
Can we
for
ch
10 years.
can we choose a time when we awake?
When we awake, yeah, we can. Yeah, just like our life right now, we actually can choose the time we sleep, right? But we need to find something like a job which uh, that can fit your sleeping time.
Mm.
Yeah, the second one, the bankruptcy pill, which is being bankrupt for 10 years. Yeah, for here, basically, I am not very sure about bankruptcy, the terms of bankruptcy, and I also think that bankruptcy law in every country is different. But today's we make it easy. Just we couldn't own any assets, and then we couldn't have uh, savings more than 1,000 all the time, and we couldn't also kind of having some contract with some people. Let's say you still work and then you sign a contract to say to tell your employer that you give me the money only after 10 years. Yeah, we can't do that. Yeah, we cannot do that. And the next one is the
Okay,
depression. Yeah.
about the bankruptcy pills, do we
Mm.
need to pay the debt?
That don't need. Yeah, just imagine that we no we can only have savings until 1,000. Yeah, we don't have to pay any debts, monthly debts, or regular debts. Okay, and then the last one is the depression pill, which being depressed for 10 years. Yeah, and then there is a premise here, which is uh, being depressed, but not to the degree that it will make us commit suicide. All right, so yeah, uh,
Yeah.
any problems with the effects of the pills?
Mm. Can we reduce the level of depression over time?
Cannot. Even though how hard we try, we still need to, we still maintain the depression level.
Mm.
Yeah. All right. And then for the sleeping also, it is compulsory. We couldn't do anything to reduce.
Mm. Yeah. How
Okay.
about the bankruptcy pill?
Mm,
Uh, yeah, because you say the asset you couldn't own
yeah.
more than 10K, right?
Yeah. The
This
10K
is
is for daily use. Maybe your saving account is only 10K at most.
yeah, and this is the asset that uh b- okay,
Eh,
bank
sorry, it's
bankrupt.
not 10K. It's 1K. Yeah, I make it
Oh,
wrongly.
oh, 1K.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
1,000 only.
Mm.
Yeah.
And uh, if you own more than that, who will
Mm.
going to take away your money? Is it the genies?
Um, yeah, there's some problem here. Yeah, you can think so. it's not important. I just want to make a situation that uh, we couldn't have much savings,
Mm. Mm.
yeah, and couldn't own any asset.
Mm. Okay.
All right, so yeah, for me, I think before I choose, and I would like to talk about my choices. The choices available here, we have three choices, and for the first one, the sleeping pill, um, we need to have a sleep of 20 hours a day, which in a day only we have 24 hours. So it means that we only have 4 hours. And then within these 4 hours, we have so many things to do. For example, you need to take a shower, you need to have your take your
English
meal.
conversation.
Yeah, English conversation. Yeah, I think in that case, maybe we couldn't have English conversation
Mm.
anymore. And then what else? If you yeah, for normal people we need to work, right? We need to work to feed ourselves. So maybe at that time you can only work something like 2 hours, and then the other 2 hours maybe 1 hour spent on some necessary thing, for example, taking shower, eating a meal, transportations, and then maybe some time more or less will be wasted. Yeah, so maybe at the end you still have, yeah, you only have 1 hour of time to for your own. Yep, but on the bright side, you only need to take one meal. Yeah, and then the other rest of the time you just have to sleep. So I mean, for here, also because you don't have your own time, you don't have much time for your own. You also won't have much expenses, spendings. You just need to maybe let's say 6 ringgit a day for one meal, and then after that maybe your phone bill you also don't have to sign up for a very good uh, package because you don't have the time to use it, or maybe you don't even need to have a phone. I mean, maybe you just need have a very basic one, and then you won't use it so much. And then for other things, I really don't know what you can spend on if you can live only 4 days, 4 hours a day. So the spending will be can be made in a way very very low, and then you still can work, let's say like 2 hours a day, and then to earn the living, uh, to feed yourself, and then yeah, it's actually possible to live.
Yeah. Uh, for the income earning, is
Mm,
it possible, but it is not probable
uh,
because let's say for you
yeah.
now you only have 4 hours a day.
Mm,
How can you get the income? Yeah, you say yeah I can teach, I can arrange the time,
yeah.
but is it sustainable?
Sustainable.
How about if you lose a student and then you need to get one more, and then you
Mm,
need to spend the time
yeah.
to find a new student. So
Yeah.
it's not sustainable.
Mm,
And if there's any changes, maybe about the syllabus, some others educations, and
yeah.
you need to keep pace with that, and you need to prepare the material. You need to do a lot of things, even though
Yeah.
you just teach one or two students.
Mm, right.
Uh, it's possible, but it's not sustainable. This is same for all career
Mm,
because if you're only able to work 4 hours a day, you better become like the working man instead of taking salary from the company.
mm,
Because if you work for a company, they even have more uncertainty. If you work for yourself, then you will face a problem, which is you need to find your own customers,
yeah.
and there's
Right.
also a problem.
Mm. Yep. So
And also just now you talk about the living cost.
mm,
Yeah, about the meal. Maybe we don't need to eat, but how about our physical health? Maybe we also need to do exercise
mm,
because you sleep so a lot. You need to do exercise. Otherwise,
yeah.
yeah, because normal people sleep 8 hours and then when they wake up, they're working and then they do something. Uh, it's, it seems like it is not exercise, but it actually activate your body muscle. And if you always asleep, then your muscle, your body
Mm,
didn't get the enough exercise. Yeah, even though this is just little, but if you accumulate, there will be a lot. So when you wake up, when the only 4 hours you wake up, you need to do exercise. Otherwise, it's also not sustainable. You are going to die.
mm, yep.
And
Yep.
you need to spend time to do exercise. You need to spend time to work. You need to spend time on uh, like brushing teeth, or do something like that. Yeah, you need to eat, and maybe you also need to pay the rental cost, maybe at least for bed. Yeah,
Mm,
and there's also a lot of uncertainty. Let's say if you if uh, if you if you rent a house, or rent a room, or rent a bed, yeah, rent a bed, and if the landlord asks you to go, how can you find the the new room or the new house? And then you also need time to visit them, to negotiate, or at least you need to pass them the money. You need to move your things onto
mm,
onto the new house, and all of these take time.
yep.
If you only have 4 days, 4 hours per day, there's a lot of uncertainty. There's a
Mm,
lot of things will spend your time.
yeah. Yep.
So it is not that easy. Yeah, but of course, in theory, it's possible to live uh, until you recover from the effect of the sleeping pill. But mm, yeah, there's too much uncertainty will make you die.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. To make us even wanted to survive, right?
Mm,
Yeah. And then yeah, it is really not easy, and yeah, your consideration is very comprehensive, right? And then maybe for this one, uh exercise, yeah, we need to spend at least maybe 15 minutes, yeah, another 15 minutes to be spent on exercise. Yeah, so really not much left. And for 10 years, yeah, it's a question mark whether we can live, uh, we can survive for these 10 years.
mm. And what? Yeah, one another thing is,
Mm,
if you only get one meal per day, how
yeah.
can you ensure your body got the enough nutrition, no matter is it macronutrition or micronutrition?
Mm, yeah. Yeah. So like you said, right, maybe at that time we need to consider the health perspective. Maybe we need to intake some health supplements, right?
And they also will take more money, either take
Mm,
more time to eat more. And you need
yeah.
to and if you want to reduce your spending, then do you need to cook? Do you want to cook for yourself? 1 hour half, you don't have time. Then you have
Yeah.
to eat out. Yeah. So, mm, yeah, this is very difficult. I won't
Mm,
choose. I won't choose to take the sleeping pill.
yeah. 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 Actually, this is the also the worst option. I think.
Okay. Unless I have enough money to retire,
Mm,
and then I will choose a sleeping pill. If I have enough money to retire, sleeping pill would be the best option for me.
mm, yep.
And
Okay.
also
Uh,
one another thing is yeah, just now I talk about if you don't have enough money, you'll die. And
mm,
how about if you can find a way to make money from sleeping?
from sleeping.
Yeah. For example, you become a YouTuber from
Mm.
you always in the sleep. Mm.
Ah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Or
yeah,
maybe you do some other similar things.
yeah. Or you try to find some passive income, but it is also very, very difficult, right?
Mm. Yeah. But for girl, it will be more easier because they have the sex resources.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
just need to ensure the people bring in their money before they do the thing.
Mm. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
For
of course
just now. Mm.
for men you want to find this kind of way to make money also possible. It's
Yeah.
possible but not probable.
Mm. Right. Right. And then for just now, the YouTuber, is it something real or your your imagination? I mean, the YouTuber only need to sleep and then something like that.
Okay, I know one YouTuber. It's just a fact. It's just a fact. That means uh the bill increased a lot.
Mm.
That's but also decrease a lot over time. So
Oh.
this is just we can say this is a short term time make. Yeah, it's a FAD,
Mm.
FAD.
Yeah. Yeah. Fed.
Yeah,
Mm.
and what the YouTuber did, the YouTuber from himself. Yeah, and the YouTuber look at the screen and do nothing for more than 2 hours and get a lot of view.
Mm. Wow. Yep. And then maybe at that time we can market ourselves to say that I need to sleep 20 hours a day. I sleep 20 hours a day, and then I make it like a live video to prove that I really sleep 20 hours a day.
Or maybe you can contact a scientist and and allow them to do some research on you
Mm.
while you are while you are in sleep.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So anything else for sleeping pills?
No.
Yeah. So we go to the next one, the bankruptcy pill.
Mm.
Yeah. For the bankruptcy pill, we have time just like usual right now with for happiness there is no restriction, you can find your own happiness, but the problem is one of the important resources in our life, which is money, is limited, and we couldn't try way to accumulate it um, in 10 years time, within these 10 years.
Yeah.
Yep. And then for this one, I think yeah, maybe if we talk about survival within these 10 years, this is the this is much easier than the sleeping pill. Yep. And then I think for this one, even though we couldn't accumulate money, and because the premise of this bankruptcy appeal is that we don't have to earn and then to pay the debt. Yeah, it's only that we don't save money.
Mm. How do you define asset in this case?
For asset, those which is expensive one like cars, house, yeah, these kind of things. You still can have your computer, uh,
A computer is asset in accounting.
um, oh, so how about smartphone? No, right?
Smartphone is also an asset in
Uh, but,
accounting.
but for people who are bankrupt, I think they can have a smartphone, right? This is something basic.
It depends how you define assets. Yeah, because
Mm,
you say the gene can take out the things.
mm,
The gene will take out your asset. The gene will maintain your saving
mm.
just up to 1,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Okay.
it's not restricted by the government. It's not controlled uh, by the country or by
Mm,
the world. If this is, and this is the best choice because you know why? No one can take away your cryptocurrency unless
Oh.
you. Yeah. So it will be the best choice for me.
Hmm.
Because while you are working, you save your money into cryptocurrency. They they can't crypt your so-called password. So they can't take away your assets.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Out of my expectation.
Yeah. So
Hmm.
yeah, because crypto is really something like give you the freedom of owning assets.
Hmm.
And crypto is so friendly for the unbanked people. For example,
Yeah.
you are in a third world country and you can't open a bank account because you don't have identity.
Hmm.
You, yeah, you don't have the IC, so called. Yeah, and it's also friendly for those people who bankrupt because they don't need a bank. Cryptocurrency is their bank.
Hmm. Yep.
But if you say the gene control all this, then
Hmm.
you really need to define what is assets because if you talk about if you talk about genies
Hmm.
can do more things than the government than
Yep.
the country. Yeah. Uh, 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 by following the definition of genies. Yeah.
Hmm.
So it really depends how you define the assets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
So.
how about like a farm like a fish pool.
Hmm.
Yeah, you feed the fish in a pool, or maybe like you grow the potato on the land. Now, of course, a land could be your asset.
Yeah.
Sorry, I mean, land could be the assets. Yeah, in many country definitions. So, but how about uh you you borrow the land from other people and then
Hmm.
you
Rented, right?
grow the yeah no need to rent because you couldn't rent the land. Maybe you borrow the land from other people,
Hmm.
and then you grow some food, some potatoes, and but there's also an asset,
Hmm.
right? And
Yep.
how about human capital? How about you accumulate the social for example like the okay uh, let's say you accumulate a lot of
Hmm.
social supporter, and they will give you the money. They'll make donation every month, not more than one, not more than 1,000.
Hmm.
Yeah, there's also an asset, but this is intangible asset.
Yeah.
Mm. And you also can accumulate not only the social, you also and also not only the food, you also can uh do something like let's say uh mm, yeah, I just forget what I want to say. Yeah, never mind, I'll forget about it.
Hmm. Yeah. Yep. So I think uh asset, yeah, is asset can be many things, right? Yeah.
Mm,
So I think I just want to limit the land, cars, houses, and then for cryptocurrency, actually it is out of my expectation, and I think I also want to ban this
yeah,
because
of
it
course
is
you.
just the same as the saving accounts, right?
Mm,
You accumulate the wealth.
mm.
Yeah. So for today's discussion, I think it's better to ban cryptocurrency and any other uh, similar ways to accumulate the money.
Okay,
Maybe
yeah,
in. Yeah.
yeah. Just now I remember what I want to say.
Mm.
How about is non-monetary items? For example, food. You got a lot of food. You
Mm.
got a lot of maybe like the inventory. Maybe it could be like the water bottle. Maybe it could be like the clothes. Maybe it could be the chair, the plastic chair or the wood chair.
Mm.
Yeah. Are you consider this kind of thing as assets?
I think yeah. Yeah, for today's discussion, I think I'm not going to ban that, but
Yeah, because it will behave same as the saving account, same as the cryptocurrency. Because you can find you can find a thing. Okay, let's say for example you say
mm,
gold. Yeah, gold is of course you agree this is an asset. Yeah,
mm,
so I would accumulate gold. But how about I accumulate something that is the price is stable and it can keep for let's say for more than 1 month
mm.
because you say you can only hold 1,000 per day or per month per day, right?
All the time.
Yeah, all the time. Yeah, so if this is the case all the time, if I can find something that can hold value, maybe more than 1 day. Yeah, more than 1 day is just enough because I can sell it tomorrow. I buy it today. I can accumulate. Do you know what I want to say? So it means that it can act as a store value.
Mm.
For example, even a rubbish bin, you can buy a lot and then you can sell it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if, if yeah, of course it's not the quality is not that high as the cryptocurrency is not that high as the real money, but you can
Mm.
do that. And also you can do the better. So that means you exchange something with other people. For example, you own a lot of foods, you exchange
Mm.
your food. You exchange the
Yeah,
foods.
like a seller.
You exchange the foods to other people and then get a smartphone
Mm.
and or maybe get some expensive thing, for example, computer. And because just now you say you couldn't have. Yeah, and also another thing is debt.
Mm.
Yeah, you can take the debt, you pay the installment. Mm. So you can maintain your saving. You can maintain your saving less than 1,000.
What do you mean take the debt and then pay installment? Do you mean we borrow money to buy something?
Yeah.
Oh,
Mm.
yeah, I think for this one also,
A lot of bug.
uh,
Yeah, there's a
yeah.
lot of bug here. Yeah,
Mm.
because if you say you couldn't do that, then you can't own anything more than 1,000 if you couldn't borrow money from other people because you see you at the maximum level at all time you can only earn 1,000.
Yeah.
And so that means at most you can only spend 1,000 at one time, and you
Mm.
couldn't buy anything above 1,000. How
Yeah.
about futures? If the inflation goes up, or maybe don't need inflation, now you a lot of things is more than 1,000 you couldn't buy. If you couldn't take the debt, if you couldn't take the loan, you couldn't buy those things.
Mm. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah. So okay, so for the things that can be stored and has the value which we store, I think that's also something uh we cannot own.
but
Uh,
everything has value. Look at everything. Can you say
um,
everything don't have value?
uh,
Because something you bought from the company, something you bought from a business, this is their inventory. And in accounting, inventory is their asset, right? Current asset.
yeah, 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 but it's very yeah, it's very difficult to draw a line. Uh,
Yeah,
mm,
right. So there's a lot of bug for this bankruptcy appeal.
yeah,
Mm. Because
yeah,
you always can find something to replace it. And if you want to ban it, then you couldn't stay alive because you couldn't own that thing. Or you couldn't own all the thing more than 1,000. If you couldn't own all the thing 1,000 and look at yourself, maybe your clothes, maybe your shoe,
mm,
maybe your watch. and all the thing is more than 1,000. Your glasses, your car, more than 1,000, and then you couldn't own.
Yeah, yeah. For yeah, yeah. For personal car, it is not permitted. And
Because it's
pers
also an asset.
yeah, personal house also cannot. You need to rent. And yeah, how about make it easy? We can only for the asset part, we can somehow exceed 1,000, but all of the asset is for our own use only. Let's say just now you say for something you buy and you store it, like the rubbish bin, you can only have one, which is for your own use. Otherwise, the genie will find ways to make it disappear.
But I can use many rubbish bin at one time. And for example, how about the food? How about something cannot quantify?
Uh,
How about something tangible?
Intangible. Oh. Yeah, it's
For
quite difficult.
example, how about art? How about an art?
Mm.
Famous art. This is for my use because yeah, I I I watch it. I get the pleasure from that. I get anything from that. But this is a very, very famous paint and sold more than 1 million.
Okay.
But
Mm,
you also define that as an asset, right? So
yeah,
because
yeah.
there's something conflicts because you say for your personal use. And how about house? How about car? There's also personal use, uh, but it's not permitted. Mm. And
Um,
other things also. Yeah. What you want to say?
I don't know. It's very difficult now.
Mm. And also, for example, the clothes. How many clothes you have? Maybe more than 10. How to define something that you don't use? You just need one clothes every day,
Mm,
and you need clothes. Maybe you need 10 clothes every month. Maybe you need like 1,000 clothes per year. So some clothes you don't need to wear all the time, but some clothes need to wear one time or two times per year. For
mm,
example, your jacket, your suit, your wedding, maybe your wedding suit is also for your personal use. You
yeah,
only wear one time. Uh, perhaps your own, perhaps the whole life you only need to wear one time. But it's also for personal use.
yeah.
And
Yep.
yeah, so how to define asset is this, and also how to define something that you just say for personal use. You know all of these thing is a is a critical questions
Mm.
for the taxation department.
Oh.
Because they also define this kind of thing because the personal expenses cannot claim income tax. The business purpose expenses can claim income tax. Yeah, they can't even solve the problem very, very good,
Mm.
in a
Yes.
good way.
They
They
can buy in the name of company and then use it by their own, right?
mm, yeah, and also uh they need to give some extent, something they have to really, really ban. For example, like in Singapore, uh the private registered car, which is the character start from S.
Mm.
Yeah, so you cannot claim all the expenses related with that. Yeah, even though it is really for company use.
Mm.
Yeah. So uh, they give some room in other area, in other aspect, but they ban something. They ban something in some extent. Yeah.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
if you want to make it clear for this bankruptcy field, you really need to define a lot of things.
Yeah.
Assets,
Maybe we need
also,
one half day to talk about this.
yeah. Mm. And if based on your original idea, and this is a very, very good choice because okay, okay, if you change the circumstances from this is a gene control the asset, it becomes this is you become bankruptcy in your domestic country. For example, if you are in Malaysia, so your bankruptcy in Malaysia, of course you cannot leave your country because it is not permitted based on the law. You are in the blacklist. If you are in Singapore, if you are in US, and you are bankruptcy in that country, in your domestic country, yeah, and so you leverage the law, you leverage the real world law to extend the bankruptcy definition. Then but if do that, and there's no like the 1,000 limit of those things.
Yeah.
You can have 1 million, you can have 2 million, even though you are a bankrupt persons. And there's but there's not the original idea you want to make by having this by having this conversation.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah. So how about the bankruptcy appeal? How what should be the premise that we make, because it's kind of very complicated to
Okay. It's
limit many things.
very, very difficult, because let's say you go to Thailand and then you go to find the John Jantai. You join their community, and maybe you don't need to pay the money. You just join the community and live together with them.
Yeah.
They don't spend money. They grow their food for themselves. They build their house for themselves. But how about the house? You say you cannot have house. That house is also an asset. Yeah. How about let's say the bicycle? Yeah, maybe you won't define bicycle as an asset. In some definition, it's also an asset.
Yeah.
This is just inferior asset. And how about like just now what I say, which is the fish point, a fish point or fish pool. It's also an asset because you can it becomes a stock already, just like the rubbish bin example. You own a lot of rubbish bin and then you sell it. But it is a food. Let's say it is a fish pool, and you don't need to worry. And also you don't care the money anymore because you won't die if you have the fish pool, if you have you grow a lot of food on the land. Yeah. So money is not a problem anymore. So that means if money is not a problem anymore, and bankruptcy by its definition is not a problem. So it becomes the most favorable choice.
Yep.
Yeah, even though you couldn't earn the financial assets, the cryptocurrency, rubbish bin more than 5, maybe plastic chair more than 10. Yeah, but how about the fish pool? How about the fruit, the potato, the watermelon? Watermelon, you have 1 ton, and there's also an asset.
Yeah. Even though but you cannot sell it, right? Within these 10 years, you cannot make your savings more than 1,000.
You cannot sell it, but you can exchange it with other things. How about I exchange for a house, 1 ton of watermelon, exchange 1 house, or 1 ton of watermelon, exchange 1 Bitcoin, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And even though even though I can only own something for personal use, I own a lot of things, huge variety. For example, potato maybe got 3,000, 4,000 variety. I own I I own two for each. For example, fish, there's so many variety. I own like a two for each variety.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then also I can grow a lot of things. For example, one type of veggie, another type
Mm.
of veggie, one type of meat, another type of meat. For example, fish, chicken,
Mm.
cow, goat. Yeah. So by doing that, I can feed myself.
Mm.
Yeah. And only by doing that I can feed myself. Otherwise, you can live in the modern world. If you only have 1,000, if you want to restrict the you want to restrict the premises to that extreme case,
Mm.
you couldn't own anything more than 1,000. You couldn't take that. You couldn't take that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah. So, yeah, really, there are lots of bugs here. And yeah, let's go to the next one. The depression pill. Yeah. For this one, compulsory, uh, inevitably we feel depressed all the time.
Yeah.
And
All the time.
yeah,
But
for 10 years.
uh, but even the person in the deep depression, they also feel happy sometimes. And if you want to say you feel depression all the time and it won't kill you, it will make you want to just suicide. And there's a logical error here, right?
Yeah, so how about most of the time?
Mm.
Yeah, but the genie is kind of really smart. They won't make this depression and then kill you. Yeah, they won't make it kill you. They will hold the balance.
And if this is the if, if this is the premises, you know what?
Mm.
It means that the the genies the genies protect you by not letting you to die.
Yeah,
But about the
at most is before committing suicide, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Mm.
because you see, if you take the sleeping pill, you also is also some form of suicide. If you take the bankruptcy pill, it's also in some circumstances it's also you suicide. It's also you decided to suicide if you live in the modern world.
Mm.
You
Yeah.
see, because you see you only have 1,000, 10 years. How about the inflation rate? Yeah, and there's one point that you couldn't buy anything, or maybe the 1,000 couldn't fit you.
Mm.
Yeah, and the sleeping point is also the same case. If the inflation rate uh, is, is, is significant, and then there's one point that you couldn't use only maybe 2 hours or 3 hours to earn a living if you don't have enough money.
Mm.
If you yeah, but if you already retire and it's not a problem. But you also need to ensure the rate of returns from your investment out uh, uh outperform for more than the living cost
Yeah.
you're having right now. Yeah.
Yes, because it is 10 years. It's not 1 or 2 years, right?
Mm,
Mm. We need to
yeah.
have enough budget for that.
And and about the depression, so it means that it's way better than above two choice because it guarantees you won't die
Mm.
from from the effect of pill. For example,
Yeah.
sleeping pill, you will die. You will die because of the direct effect of the sleeping pill, and bankruptcy pill also.
Mm.
Yeah, you die. You can't survive because of the direct effect of the pill. But
Mm.
depression pill, it guarantee you won't die. Yeah. So there's also some bugs here.
Mm.
Mm.
Yep. But I think for here, it's okay that give this benefit because uh, for depression, most of the time you feel depressed. I think this is enough for the discussion purpose.
Yeah.
Uh, by choosing
And
depression.
and you know what? This is
Mm,
something like the Stockdale paradox. Yeah. You are in
mm,
the jail. You are in the prisons for
yeah.
10 years, and you just need to believe after 10 years, and it can become one of the meaning of your life, and you definitely will go up from that. It's just 10 years,
Mm,
and what you can do, yeah, by leveraging the effect, yeah, the side effect of the pill. You
mm,
go take you go take you go take the job, you go work for something, you go do the thing which have the highest passions, we have the higher depression in the world, will cause higher depression in the world. Yeah, and then because the genies will guarantee you won't die
mm,
uh, due to the depression uh, uh, by suicide by
mm,
suicide. Yeah, so you just go for the most difficult thing to do. You just go to the most depressed thing to do,
yep.
and you won't die. And you won't die from that, and you can get the benefit. You can get,
Mm,
yeah, you can have your own time. So it's against the sleeping pill, and you can have you can have a lot of assets. It's a bankruptcy pill against with that.
yeah.
Uh, yeah, but of course, uh, you need to you need to be unhappy for 10 years.
Mm,
But you see, a lot of people they're depressed for their whole for their whole life.
mm,
So if you
yep.
just depress 10 years and then you leverage the side effect, and then you earn as as much money you can earn, and then you can retire 10 years from that.
Yeah.
So for example, now you have now you are 25. How about if you can retire at 35? You can
Mm,
enjoy your life
yep.
better than a lot of people.
Yeah.
And also another thing is about the sleeping pill. After 10 years, there's also a lot of uncertainty
Mm,
whether you
start
can
again.
adapt the world. Yeah,
Yeah.
whether you can adapt the world, and also the bankruptcy pill. Only after 10 years you can start accumulate your assets. You can
Mm,
start accumulate the saving. Yeah,
yeah.
and then it will have the consequence effect. Mm.
Mm,
Even though you the effect the effect of the pill disappear.
yep.
Yeah, it will
Yeah.
it already impact your whole life.
Mm, yep.
But the depression pill is only affect 10 years, and
Yep.
after 10 years, uh, yeah,
You have
uh,
savings.
mm,
You have a good career, right?
mm,
You also don't feel depressed anymore after 10 years.
mm, yeah.
Mm, yep. Right. So anything else?
So
Okay. So actually for this topic, it is created by me. Uh, and then for these three, uh, I, I, I kind of wanted to draw an analogy uh, for these different types of pills. For the sleeping pill, it talks about the importance of time, and then if we don't spend our time on the things we're supposed to spend, for example, you get addicted to uh, to something. It can be drugs, it can be games, it can be anything. But you spend a very huge amount of time on it every day, and then what will be the consequence? For example, you won't have enough time to earn money for your future. Maybe you just be able to earn it for currently for the current living, and then for happiness, addicted people. I I have no experience, but I think they are kind of struggling instead of fe feeling happy, right? Uh, Most of the time, because maybe they themselves they know that they are addicted, and then maybe they want to quit, but they can't. So so this is the stepping pill analogy, and
Yeah.
then yeah.
This uh, what you say is true. Yeah. But let's say the people addicted to the computer game. So when they are playing computer game, they can enjoy. Yeah, because
Mm,
addiction is something like you boost. Addiction is something like you boost your dopamine level,
mm,
boost your dopamine level, so you get the pleasure.
yeah.
Yeah, and but how about if you can like cope in the computer game, maybe
What do you
over
mean?
you can you put you challenge you across the obstacle in the computer game.
Ah,
Yeah, and then you become the top player. Yeah, of
mm,
course, if suddenly the games disappear, so you lose the meaning. Yeah, but if let's say the games keep continue,
yeah.
so you can shift your focus from reality to the game, and this is most of people who addicted to the computer game do.
Yeah.
Yeah, what? Yeah, and
Mm,
if the game disappear, they'll cry, they couldn't eat, mm, they're depressed because
mm,
they lose. This is something like you kill them.
yeah.
So uh, you want to say they won't feel happy? Yeah, only if they have to face the reality. But how about if they don't need to face to the reality? Maybe let's say they have a lot of money.
Mm, yeah.
They don't need to face the real problem in reality.
Mm, yeah.
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 So but it's a good analogy.
Mm, yeah,
And
but
also
not for
uh,
all people, right? All addicted people.
yeah, and also another analogy is for the working people, for the people who let's say pursue the career,
Mm,
pursue who pursue some success in order to make a lot of money.
mm.
If they couldn't enjoy in the process, they really only left 4 hours per day.
Yeah, actually, for this one, I want to make the analogy for depression pill because for sleeping pill, we basically we couldn't make money, right? Like our discussion just now, we find hard to make much money.
Mm-hmm.
So for people like they are pursuing fire or they want to make a lot of money, they sacrifice happiness. And yeah, I actually want to draw a analogy on depression pill for those kind of people.
Yeah, but this is an all or nothing schema because they still can enjoy the process. Mm. They still
Um,
can enjoy in their career.
yeah. But for some people, they didn't choose the job that they have the passion on. They feel very struggling. Not all people, but just to those people, they actually these three pills I make it kind of very extreme because I want to exaggerate the effect
Mm.
so that we can feel it more. Uh, we can feel it more.
Yeah.
Mm,
But there's some overlaps here because the people who struggle is because they don't have time to do the thing they want to do.
mm,
If they have if they have a lot if they have a lot of time for them to do to pursue their passions, they don't mind to work. They don't mind to work for for something they don't like.
yeah.
So for example, let's say normal people only have 24 hours per day,
Mm,
and you have 48 hours per day. Yeah, maybe you can go back. Maybe you can experience the days once again. Yeah, once again. Yeah, and do you mind? Do you mind to work for 10 hours, 12 hours? You don't mind because you have time to pursue. your own thing.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah. Yep. And then actually yeah for this depression for all these pills there are quite a lot of uh bugs here, and I find it hard to really make it perfect. And for depression here, actually, I I also try to design in a way you feel depressed. So it means that even though you try to pursue your own thing, you have time to do your own thing, but you don't feel happy doing it. So it is just some usual thing. You won't feel like, oh, this is my hobby. I feel so happy. I feel uh, exciting when doing it.
Yeah. If this is the whole life period, and it will be terrible. Yeah, it will be.
Mm,
But if it's just like 10 years, or even 15 years, or even 20 years, it's
yeah.
still able to accept.
Mm. Yeah, so I think this is similar to people that they're willing to sacrifice their maybe 10 or 15 years or even 20 years, and then to pursue uh, maybe they want to retire earlier and they want to make money, and then to the extreme case, maybe they won't feel they get lesser happiness. Yeah, of course, you can say that some people they are really smart. They can find the career which they really have the passion in it, right? So they can at the same time get the happiness and then to also get the money.
Yeah. But for those people, okay, they want to earn a lot of money. It's because they want a house, they want a car, they want to feed their children and send their children to the top university, to the
Mm,
top primary school, to the top secondary school, and they give themselves a lot of burden. They give themselves a lot of pressure. Actually, you don't have to do that. You don't need to have a house. You don't need to. You don't even need to have a car. Yeah,
mm,
if you have a bicycle, you can go anywhere you can go.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like the
And
experience of John Jandai, right?
mm,
Previously, he worked in the big city, and life is tough. He has a lot of burden, right, to paying mortgage or what. He see other people do that.
yeah. And also, you don't need to send your children to top university. This is not a must. But a lot of
Yeah,
people want to do that, so they
yeah,
give themselves a lot of pressure. So by having that faith, by having that faith, so you have to work a lot harder. You need to earn a lot more money,
mm,
way more money. Maybe 1 million, maybe 2 million. But if you can give up all the things, and then you really have very very little burden. For
yeah,
example, uh, you can send your children to the government primary school, just like what our parents done on us. You can send your children to the government, the public
mm,
secondary school. You can send them to the state university, the government university, instead of going to college and going to private college and spend a lot of money. Yeah,
mm,
they still can receive the education,
yep,
and by doing that, you don't need to work that hard, and you can have more time to be with your children.
mm,
And if your family got you, got your wife, or for your partner, and another child, this is just one more. This is just one more person. It's just one more person to expenses. Yeah, all the big costs, all the rental costs, you don't need to pay for for an additional person. This is
mm,
not the
yep,
marginal cost. Yeah, and what you need to pay for that is maybe the meal
mm,
expenses,
yeah,
maybe your clothes and all that. Yeah, so it's not that the expense is not that significant. Yeah,
mm,
because a child couldn't eat more than the adult.
yep.
Mm. Yeah, maybe the child couldn't eat more than a dog. But you
Yeah,
see, nowadays modern people want to not only want to feed their children, they need to feed the dog. They need to
Mm.
send the dog to the beauty care, the pet
Yeah.
shop. Yeah, need to buy a lot of things for their dog, for their pet.
Mm.
Yeah, so they give themselves a lot of pressure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so for this kind of people, yeah, your analogy is really really great. This depression pill is something like they take the pill by themselves. No one forced them to take the pill, but they take the depression pill by
Mm.
themselves.
Yeah. All right. So shall I go to the bankruptcy
Yeah,
pill?
sure.
Yeah. And for this one, actually, bankruptcy pill, I have two different analogy. The first one is that people ignore the importance of money, and then they spend their time maybe for their own thing, and then they pursue their own happiness, but they don't uh, maybe plan for the future, and maybe when they are uh, below 30 years old, and then they didn't think much, they didn't uh, accumulate their savings, they didn't uh, invest. So yeah, so this is just um, the first analogy. And then after 10 years, maybe they'll find that they face the reality. They find it difficult to maybe to in their life, because after 10 years, they need to still make money to feed themselves. And maybe at that time, the life isn't that easy anymore, and they have to work harder. And also because they don't have savings, so maybe they care about the money most after the money more when they get older, because after maybe they get old, maybe they can't work so hard. Uh,
Mm.
Maybe they think that they are closer to the retirement, so they started to worry about the money problems, the financial perspective. So this is the first analogy.
Yeah.
And for the second one is that some people they actually uh, invest in, let's say, improving themselves, and then invest in many things. They just spend their money in their work, and they don't have much money left. And the money they spend can go into some intangible thing. For example, you learn a lot of skill, you go and get a degree, and then uh, uh, or maybe you start to do something and try and error. Maybe you start a business, you spend the money, and it will make you a situation like at the beginning of the 10 years, you don't have much money left. And then but after that, after 10 years, maybe your business succeed, or maybe because you invest in your personal improvement, and then after 10 years you find that, oh, it's actually a good start. Yeah. And you started to make money. And it's interestingly, just now when we discuss about bankruptcy appeal, you say you can kind of in invest in doing making producing some food, producing uh, to keep some inventory, and then we can sell, right? And also you say that some intangible asset. Yeah, actually I'm not going to limit that, because this is the second analogy. um, Firstly we invest and we didn't keep money, but after that we can harvest. So for these two analogy, the first one is a bad one. It's a more negative one, and the second one is actually a very positive one.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. But for the second one is not necessary a good one, but this is good in term of monetary example, but it may not be, but it no make sorry, but it may not good in terms of the ultimate currency, which is the happiness. Yeah.
Mm.
Especially for the first one, Yeah, of course, it apply on the second analogy, but especially for the first analogy, seems like the the shift the shift from bankruptcy pill to depression pill after 10 years.
Mhm. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
And then yeah, and after they retire, they shift from depression pill to sleeping pill because they couldn't spend so much money. They need to quote unquote sleep a lot in order to spend less money.
Mm. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So yeah, I have finished my sharing actually. How
Yeah,
about
so
you?
what's the conclusion? Are you
Okay.
talking about we want to balance?
Okay. So conclusion could be something like 10 years is quite a long time. And then time is very important. We can see uh, if the effect of sleeping pill. We are limited to do many things. Yeah, it's kind of the most difficult to survive out of the three pills. So time is very important. Yeah, we can because time is something that we all need. Yeah, if you need money, you need to spend your time. Yep, and then you need to uh, pursue happiness. You also need to have the time. So time is very important, and uh, we need to spend our time in the proper thing, and then to also at the same time to keep learning and improve ourselves. Even though you may not be so successful at the current moment, but we shouldn't give up because if you don't do anything, it will be like taking the bankruptcy pill for the first type of person, and then after 10 years, like you said, your life started to uh, uh, look alike like the depression pill, like you take the depression pill after 10 years, yeah, something like that. So we need to keep learning, keep improving ourselves, and then also spend time on something uh, that I mean give some proportion of your priority to happiness. Yeah, for here, it can be any way you can think of. You can, yeah, of course, it is suggested to find your passion in your career, so that you can kind of work hard and at the same time pursue happiness. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah. Uh, the good news is in reality, the uh, the depression level can be reduced if you do it properly. If you study about the happiness, if you study about the positive psychology,
Mm.
you can intervene and you can reduce the level of depression. And it's not just from negative to zero; it also could be from zero to positive, which is
Mm.
eventually become happy. And what we concern about is not about the happy; it's about how to become happier. Even though
Oh.
you are at the even you are in a very serious depressions, you still can become happier. Yeah.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah.
And about the time, mm, yeah, everyone have 24 hours. Nothing will change. Mm.
Mm.
And so it's very, very fair. Mm. You put the things mm, on something that meaningful and also can give you a pleasure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And about the bankruptcy, yeah, you highlight the importance of the money. Really, and importance of the investment. Everyone uh, need to need to pay attention to that. Otherwise, uh, you lose a lot of freedoms. Mm.
Yeah.
So anything want to add in?
No.
Yeah, and I have to say this is a very very good conversation topic.
Oh.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I couldn't think of new topics, so I decided actually at the early morning I decided to design a topic, and I spent almost half day, but not every single minute and seconds thinking of it, but I keep thinking of it, and finally in the afternoon I came up with this topic.
Yeah. Mm.
Mm.
Okay.
Yep.
So that's all for our today conversation. How do you feel? Did you enjoy the conversations? Please tell us what you think of our conversation. And we are not native speakers. If you found any vocabulary mistake that we made, please also comment to let us know, because we want to learn more and improve ourselves. Remember to like, subscribe to us. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.